trying to get flavor in the food by using things other than sugar, salt, and fat. What we're trying to do here is get flavor from herbs, spices, vegetables, flavorful protein, and flavorful oils and cooking liquids like chicken stock and wine. High energy protein chicken thigh that has a lot of flavor, a lot of energy, no carbohydrates, and then we've added fennel, onion, tomato, and squash. These are good sources of high quality carbohydrates in small quantities, and they're very satisfying and very flavorful. Then we've added cloves, cinnamon, cumin, ginger, white wine, avocado, and olive oil. These are all high quality, high energy, and high metabolic ingredients which add a lot of flavor, and we've only used a minimal amount of salt. We're going to season our chicken. Small amount of salt, being careful to cover every part of the chicken. Next, dried cumin seeds and ground ginger. Like we said before, we're trying to get flavor from sources other than fat, sugar, and salt. These are very flavorful, very inexpensive spices readily available at every market. The top part of the squash today, but both parts are perfectly usable. The bottom part has seeds, top part does not. We're going to break down the squash, cutting off the unusable end. We're going to work with the middle. Bring your knife down. Take off the skin. Okay, now we want to cut these squash into about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch slices. They're going to cook in the cooking liquid for about a half hour. So we want them to be thick enough so they'll stick together and remain firm enough so that they don't fall apart. Next is our fennel. Now fennel is an ingredient you might not be very familiar with. It is related to the onion and the parsley family. It's an herb that has a lot of natural benefits. It has metabolic effects where it speeds up your metabolism and improves digestion. It helps pregnant women, basically. Now, fennel can be broken down, chopped like an onion, or you can also cut it in quarters and then remove the firm root on the inside, which we're going to do now. Making a diagonal cut. Next, we're going to prepare the whole meal in this pot. So cleanup is minimal. It's very easy. It's going to start on the stove and finish in the oven. The idea is to use very little oil. Oil has 120 calories per tablespoon. Fat has 9 calories per gram, as opposed to protein and carbohydrates, which have 4, and alcohol, which has 7. So we're going to use approximately a teaspoon of avocado oil and a teaspoon of olive oil. Just enough so that the vegetables don't stick to the bottom of the pan. On a low heat, you should already be able to smell the avocado and olive flavors. We're going to put in our onions. We're going to put in our fennel. We're going to stir these to get them coated in the oil. Once these vegetables get sweated down, we're going to add our cooking liquids. First which is white wine. Now this is a Sauvignon Blanc. When cooking, you should try to use a wine that you enjoy the taste of, because that's the flavor you're going to get. But you also don't want to use anything too expensive. Basically, the idea is that if you want to drink it, you want to cook with it, and therefore you want to eat it. Okay, welcome back. We have sweated down our onions and fennel. In the pan, we're now going to add our sliced garlic. We're going to stir that in and allow that to cook for about 2 minutes. Raise the heat to medium, and we're going to pour the white wine right into our vegetables. About 1/4 inch of white wine. We'll turn our heat up to medium-high. Stir. And let that wine reduce to about half where it is now. Now we're going to use 2 whole spices, cinnamon stick and whole cloves. 10 to 12 whole cloves and 2 cinnamon sticks, maybe 3. And then add a little pinch of ground cinnamon. We're going to take our vegetables, squash and fennel, place them on top of the vegetables, on top of the onions and chopped fennel, and our chicken. Right on top. Okay, now our dish is basically composed. We're going to add the tomatoes. This is unsalted chicken stock. You can use salted chicken stock, but once again you'll be raising the salt content. 75 to 90% of the ingredients immersed in the liquid. It's going to look like this. You want to raise the heat to high and cover. Wait about 10 minutes, make sure, or wait till you see some steam coming. Make sure that it's moving at a good rate, and then we're going to move it into the oven to finish at 375 degrees for about 25 minutes. I'm going to take it out now. And voila! Braised chicken, onion, fennel, squash, and tomato. We're going to remove the chicken from the cooking liquid. We're going to remove squash, fennel pieces. We'll take 1 chicken leg and thigh quarter, place it on the plate. We'll take a piece of squash, a piece of fennel, another piece of squash, another piece of fennel, and a final piece of squash, layered over as so. Now we've taken some fresh thyme, some fresh chives, and some fresh mint, and chop them up. And take our fresh herbs, sprinkle them over the thyme, sprinkle them over the fennel and the squash, and over the chicken. We've toasted some pine nuts, and then we've chopped them up, and we're going to take those pine nuts and sprinkle them over the chicken. And voila! Braised chicken, fennel, squash, onion, and tomato with pine nut and fresh herb topping. I guarantee this will help you live healthier, live more energetic, live better, have better workouts, and generally be a better person, I think. This is Cooking with Big Bob for Physique 180.